All right. We're recording. We're rolling. The reviews are in, folks. I've been checking the demographics, and somehow our listenership has gotten even younger.
Cool.
I don't know how it's happened. Andrew, I ran an ad and specifically said that I wanted to target people in their 20s and 30s. I wanted more listeners closer to our own age. And we gained about 100 Instagram followers. And I spent some time going through these Instagram followers' profiles, and most of them appear to be around 8 years old. And they're all posting about an app for the iPad called Gotcha Life, which is where you design a little some sort of a little anime character.
Okay.
I said, "What's Gotcha Life?" And my own 8-year-old said, "Oh, I know what that is. I play it." I don't know what to do. I've lost my mind.
I applaud the wonderful taste of all these 8-year-olds. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I guess we gotta roll with it, right?
I guess so. I don't understand why or how, but I'm not gonna sneeze at it either.
Yeah, I guess we lean into it. We do a Gotcha Life episode.
Okay.
I
can dip my toe into that pond.
We had Instagram account Dougie Lee 631 dropped into our menchies to say, "It's weird how young you guys sound, but you're having the most, quote, waiting in line at Publix, end quote, boomer conversations." This was, of course, in reference to the idea of being buried in a Long John Silver's box, which I guess that a lot of the boomers in his life are talking about.
Well, I don't think that Long John Silver's is very. I don't think that it has a really high Q rating with younger demographics, but I could see putting all of my food on the conveyor at Publix and thinking how I don't want to eat any of this shit. I'm just going to go to Long John Silver's.
Yeah. That's what it is. Long John. No one cool and young is eating at Long John Silver's or even knowing what it is. So he just heard Long John Silver's and he thought all he heard was wah, 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 like Charlie Brown's teacher. That's who we are. That's who we've become.
Yeah, we're womp wompers. Do you think
we are
that
the womp wompers?
Do you think that it would help Long John Silver's out if they'd pick a fictional character from a more recent publication than Treasure Island? Like perhaps SpongeBob SquarePants or...
yeah. What if Long John Silver's replaced... I guess Long John Silver from the Robert Louis Stevenson novel is the mascot. They're like, yeah, this old-timey British book that we sold to 16-year-old boys to trick them into getting jobs on sailing vessels 300 years ago. That's the guy. That's the guy who is on our children's kids meal.
Yeah, there's also Moby Dick's. I don't think that that's as big of a chain, but they are here in Louisville.
It's a regional chain, but yeah, it's just a Fish and Hush Puppies place. I think maybe Fish and Hush Puppies doesn't really speak to the younger generation.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And here we are talking about it even more. We've gotten back into it. We're even more excited about fish and chips. Folks,
really like get it swimming in that malt vinegar. It's the best.
This is what we need to embrace who we are. Quit trying to be hello fellow teens. Let's admit that we're old. We're boomers. We're in line for Publix. You know what? I won't. We're not boomers. And this Zoomer here has no clue. This is like when people used to say, like, when they'd see hippies and they'd be like, oh, the 70s. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or people see like Kid and Play and they'd say the 80s. But that's like, that was from the 90s. The Fresh Prince isn't 80s.
Yeah.
These people, they have no
when
no
did,
idea.
Parents Don't Understand come out? That might have just narrowly hit the 80s. It might have been 89.
It's 91.
91. Yeah.
It was
correct.
89. Yeah.
Okay.
The song won a Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance before the award was discontinued in 1991. So I guess they stopped giving out awards for rap performance in the 90s. It's weird.
Yeah, it's not like this is an ongoing concern. The fad was about over. I mean, it kind of run its course. I mean, what more could rap have to say? I mean, parents don't understand. They never will. Are you going to just have Will Smith, Chubby Checker, that song, and just release a new one every year?
Yeah,
Parents,
I guess,
still don't understand. Parents keep on not understanding.
Parents keep not understanding. Mother. There's too many parents not understanding. I didn't want to expend this much energy talking about the guy who called us boomers in lines at Publix. And here we are. I've been recording for 7.5 minutes. And folks, you can do the math at home and figure out how much of this I ended up cutting out. Because we had an actual letter, an actual correspondence sent to us this week, and I texted you earlier this morning and said we got a correspondence and it's a doozy. Are you ready? This is this harkens back to what I believe was the second episode of the show. This comes to us from Rodney Wallace of Australia, who writes, so I'm trying to add my old satirical Christian hardcore punk band Jesus Christ Posse to Spotify, and some songs are getting rejected because they supposedly already have been uploaded by someone else, so I searched Jesus Christ Posse on Spotify, and I came across your podcast, which features an episode titled Jesus Christ Posse. It was surreal to hear JC Represent by Jesus Christ Posse being played in the background of your podcast. But surely you smelled a rat? No. I'm sorry, Rodney. I don't believe we smelled a rat. We thought you were a real Christian hardcore punk band. And not an avant-garde joke band that writes Christian hardcore music. This is incredible. We've been had, folks. We got tricked. We got trolled. We got punked by fake Christians.
Ugh.
We are the boomers.
Yeah.
We're falling for onion headlines.
I don't remember the context of that episode, but
it was that I thought that the song Jesus Christ Pose was called Jesus Christ Posse for 30 years of my life. And then we had a good laugh about it and then found a band called Jesus Christ Posse. But it turns out they're in on the joke.
Okay.
And he sent us a link to Their second album. Maybe we'll play a little bit of it at the end of the show.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's nice to know that somebody listened to the entire episode and then was like, "Hey, that's my song." So that's cool.
Yeah.
We need to right these wrongs. We represented them as an actual Christian punk band and not someone doing a very clever parody of Christian punk music. And we're setting the record straight here today, folks.
The record has been set straight. And also, Jesus Christ Posse, he did travel with the posse. The posse was the apostles.
Yeah.
Apostly.
Jesus Christ Apostle. Thank you for writing in, Rodney.
Thanks, Rodney.
We'll play out the show with another song by Jesus Christ Posse. And we'll even drop a link in the show notes where folks can check out Jesus Christ Posse's split album with Battle Pope, which I guess is another parody Christian punk band.
Oh man, a whole new genre that I've just discovered, and I know what I'm gonna do tonight.
Just gonna be listening to fake Christian music.
I didn't know it existed.
I mean, I've known plenty of fake Christians who were in bands, so I guess that counts for something, right?
Yeah. That counts for something.
In this world, that's gotta count for something. Anyway, let's get into it. You got any ideas for the show?
Yeah. I've got. I call it Hot Flakes.
Hot Flakes.
It's a podcast that delves into innovations in the breakfast cereal industry.
Oh, I see. Like hot takes.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, when I somehow managed to be sweating and having dandruff at the same time.
Yeah, I guess, and when you use your dandruff shampoo, it does make it feel like your head's burning. So I guess that could be Hot Flakes.
That means it's working.
Yeah. They try to say tingling because
it's tingling.
People, it's burning. It's burning that dead skin up there off of your head.
Yeah. Nobody says that. Nobody goes to their doctor and they say, "Doctor, I've been having some sort of an issue. It tingles when I pee." it's tingling. That means it's working. The clap is punishing you for having premarital sex. That means it's working.
Yeah, that's a line of reasoning you don't hear quite so often anymore, and that's, I think, a good thing. Anytime a disease is written as a prescription from God to punish you, we're just not going to cure this one. You deserve it.
We should bring that back, but for hell, dandruff. Let's just put dandruff on that.
Yeah.
Dandruff, huh? Well, that's because you thought lustfully about a woman. You go to the dermatologist. "Doctor, I got I think it might be ringworm." And he's like, "Well, did you know that in the Bible it says that if you even think angry thoughts about someone, it's the same as if you tried to murder them. Did you think about that when you got ringworm? Because maybe that's why."
It almost certainly is. I've had ringworm before when I was a kid.
Let me ask you this:
filthy little child, and I deserved it.
Yeah,
because there was anger in my heart.
There was just this whole episode is just going to be us being halfway faking being Christian now. It's stuck in our heads.
Yeah.
Hot Flakes. So what are some ideas? What are some cereal ideas you might have?
Okay, well, Rice Krispies and their ilk are the only cereals I can think of that make sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a good innovation would be more cereals that talk to you.
Yeah.
And maybe if we could engineer the cereal pieces so that what you're getting isn't just a...
Yeah.
But maybe it could actually talk to me.
Yeah. What about this? Cheerios?
Yeah, you pour a bowl of Cheerios and it says
they make sad little mournful cries. You got to contend with that. There's a sick little freak who enjoys it. Just he wants to eat them even more.
Yeah. And it's just if this segment of the population is out there, this will be so much better for them because right now they're having to eat, insects, small mammals in this manner. So if we could simulate that sort of thing for someone, they wouldn't have to.
Yeah,
eat like a bowl of mice.
You just have they have these Cheerios that cry when you eat them, and they're just in the grocery store as a honey pot to catch future serial killers. If your kid goes,
you go on a list when you buy that. There could be ones that make happy noises.
Yeah.
Or maybe something a little more percussive than just a snap, crackle, and pop. I almost said snap, crapple.
Yeah, they're the General Mills 808s, and they make a little like. You got little kick drums.
Yeah.
Crash.
They can wheat box.
Wheat box. Hot Flakes.
That's correct.
I love it.
And there are a lot of other things that cereals could do, But we're going to start small.
All right. I got an idea here.
Yeah.
This I just wrote down, who really won the rat race?
Are we talking about the movie Rat Race with John Lovitz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The 2001 film with John Lovitz and Cuba Gooding Jr., The Rat Race. I recently watched it, and as I was watching it, I realized that, I know we have a lot of very young listeners out there, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but first of all, this was made in 2001, and please don't get mad about some of the sexist and racist things in this movie. But second of all, please forgive me for spoiling the ending right now. They all go after the $4 million or whatever, and then end up giving it to Smash Mouth on stage at a charity concert in the middle of nowhere. In Silver City, Nevada. Smash Mouth is having a big charity concert for a nonprofit called Feed the World, just outside the train station in Silver City, Nevada. And
that's where you would do that.
They give all the money to Smash Mouth.
You don't want to sit up too far away from the train station. You don't want to make people.
How do you think all those people got to the concert?
By train, obviously.
Near the train station. But I realized that their wacky race to get to the money definitely caused a lot of collateral damage along the way, like a lot. And I think it would be interesting to sit down and watch with a critical eye and try to figure out, in terms of like, everyone had to, because none of them became millionaires at the end, each one of them had to return to their normal everyday lives they were trying to escape by becoming a millionaire by racing to get the $1 million. Which one of them do you think had the least amount of consequences when they returned to their job and their life? And, you know, they had, oh, you hit Dean Cain with a truck after you chased him with a helicopter, or, you know, you destroyed the radar tower for the Las Vegas airport with your dune buggy, and then you did a fake slip and fall in front of Gloria Allred that made an actual lady fall down the stairs, and she's gonna sue whoever did it. That literally everyone there.
I think that movie, the best way that they could have made a sequel was to
just show them all in prison.
They needed to do a mockumentary about how those characters dealt with all the huge mess they got themselves into.
Yeah. I think either that or you have it be like a Prison Break movie, like a Great Escape, because that's another great, like ensemble cast concept,
Mm-hmm.
you know? They're all in prison for what they did in the first movie. You got Whoopi Goldberg, you got Breckenmeyer and Amy Smart.
We're getting the team back together.
They're in some sort of Oz-style experimental prison where they let the entire cast of Rat Race all be in one prison together. John Lovitz, Kathy Najimy, Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth shows up and does like a show, like a...
I don't know. I think Smash Mouth was just there to feed the world. I don't want to sully the name of Smash Mouth in any way. They took part in none of these shenanigans.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Smash Mouth shows up like Johnny Cash to do a prison concert.
Yeah.
Live from Rat Race prison.
Smash Mouth should get on that right now. I would buy that album.
Mr. Bean and Newman from they're all there, folks.
Is it too late?
Let's see. Whoopi's still alive. Cuba Gooding Jr., is he in jail?
Not that I know of. The last thing I remember, I know that he got very good reviews for his portrayal of OJ.
Yeah, I know that he did that, and then the thing that I think happened directly after that was he was actually in town. He was hanging out at the tap room, sexually harassing women.
Yes, I
drunk.
did hear that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he got arrested for doing something similar in New York. But yeah, maybe we just get Michael B. Jordan to just have him play the character.
Oh, I don't think he needs this at all.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan does not need Rat Race 2.
I'm saying though, like at the time, this was like pre-radio Cuba Gooding Jr. This was Cuba Gooding Jr. right after Jerry Maguire, right?
Jerry Maguire was 1995, I think.
96. So
96,
yeah,
okay.
He won an Academy Award, right?
This was Rat Race's part of the string of movies that led to him not getting to be in very many movies anymore. I remember Snow Dogs, Boat Trip.
Snow Dogs. Boat Trip. Was that? Oh yeah, Boat Trip.
It was like homophobia, the movie. That was the only joke. Pretty much.
Hey, there was a joke where somebody shot their cum out of a portcullis of the boat. I remember that, although I don't recall why or where the cum went.
Actually, I'm not sure. Is Boat Trip homophobia the movie, or is I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry homophobia the movie?
Now I'm trying to think of what other movies are homophobia the movie.
I mean, plenty of movies are homophobic, but not very many make it their thesis statement.
Yeah. Not yeah. I was going to say not nearly enough, but that's because I was just kind of checked out of the conversation and reading something else. Woo. Anyway, that was my idea. My first idea was the who really won the rat race. That would just be taking a critical eye to what would unfold.
I like it because it is that big ensemble cast, and there are a lot of archetypes to play with there, and I think that you could be onto something. You could be teaching a college course on this.
Yeah,
it's a big idea.
I mean, in reality, or within the context of the original film, conventional wisdom holds that they all really won when they decided to donate their money. But in reality, if you zoom out on a macro level and you look at the wake of destruction they left in their path, we have to assign some sort of a ranking based on collateral damage and what it would do to their lives.
Yeah.
What the real outcomes for each of these people is going to be drastically different. Man, they got Kathy Bates to be in that movie for like a minute and a half, and she just has a squirrel. She's trying to give squirrels away. Whoever was in charge of that movie had some serious juice in Hollywood.
I have not seen that movie in over a decade, but I'm very, very intrigued to watch it again now. I kind of forgot about it, and looking at the cast, how is that a thing? How did
there is at least two scenes in that movie that I think are some of the funniest shit. The one where John Lovitz steals Hitler's car. That is a gag for the ages. Ah. All right, you got another idea?
I do. This one is, if we build it, they will come. Like from Field of Dreams. But I think it is...
I was going to say, is this it? Like capital I?
Oh, yeah.
Like Stephen King's It?
Well, in my head, it was going to be... In the Field of Dreams, it is the field itself that you have to build for them to come to. So I guess it's a podcast field, which might be a studio or maybe just a pod.
A pod.
Like a futuristic silvery pod that one goes into to podcast from.
Just an egg-shaped plexiglass dome.
Yeah, like that Mork from Ork popped out of.
Yeah. Like, remember those pantyhose that came in a plastic egg?
Legs.
Yeah. Maybe, is that what we're building?
But bigger.
Like... And people are going to come to it.
Think about giant pantyhose.
How are you spelling cum?
Well, I was spelling it C-O-M-E, but I mean, I'm open to tweaking this a little bit. This is not one of my most formed ideas. So
my editorial inputs so far have been make it about it, the clown, and change cum to cum. Fellas, you got $1.50 to build the perfect it.
Yeah, you want to just change the name of this one from "If you build it, they will come" to "Clownfuckers."
Clownfuckers
is well, they let us put that on Apple. podcasts.
I just found out that Apple has been censoring our show notes.
Really?
I wasn't aware. Yeah, that we do put shit like Clownfuckers in the description, and it's just starred out. I had no idea. Yeah, so we can't call it Clownfuckers, but maybe we could imply it's called Clownfuckers, and then if people wanted to hear about the clown fucking,
well, I mean, we could make it Clown Friggers. That works.
Clown Friggers. Oh, it's even creepier. And watch someone, dear, we don't have a podcast yet. I was trying to upload MP3s of my band Clownfuckers to Spotify. Imagine my surprise when you have already cornered the market on the phrase Clownfuckers. In conclusion, y'all sound like boomers at the Publix.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm probably... I feel bad right now because I know the reason we sound like boomers is because my parents are boomers, and all this stuff that we talk about, they talked about, like I talking about clown fucking isn't something that came to me. It was something that was taught to me.
Yeah, I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Oh. There are two types of clowns. The types that only wear the makeup on the face, and then all body makeup clowns. I learned that from you, Dad.
My daughter actually asked me when she was little if there were baby clowns. And I was like, oh, now I'm thinking about clowns fucking and having baby clowns.
Yeah. I think that I don't know if I've ever seen someone who's done a baby up like a clown, but I want to.
Oh.
I know that was my very first ever Halloween one of my very first Halloween costumes. I know that
But were you like I'm
probably like 3.
Were you like a Pagliacci style clown or like a Bozo clown?
Bozo all the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I did some clowning early in life, and it was always the hobo clown.
Ah.
Because that's the one that's the one you can throw together with shit around the house easiest. We're just gonna take.
I would say I was Bozo, but I know that the clown wig that I had was like it was kind of like tinsel. It was a tinsel-y wig.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just silver, but there were red and green and probably blue in there. So, but the rest of it was white face, big red lips, and
you were doing white face?
Yeah, I was doing white face.
Hello Twitter, canceled this man. All right, I got another idea. Actually, I wrote down a couple here, and I'm trying to decide between. I think. You know what? Let's go with this one. This one is not as well thought out, but I think this might be a fun sandbox to play in. I wrote down the Stanford Podcast Experiment.
Oh. I think it speaks to how starved for interaction with people that I am, that I'm like, that sounds like fun.
That sounds like... Oh. We would just have I think, I don't know what the limit is on how many people we can do in a group recording session. I think it's like 8, but we could get like make like 3 people be the guards and then 5 guests and just see what happens. when we give some people power over other people in a podcast scenario.
I personally volunteer to be one of the prisoners, and I'm going to get one of those shock dog collars, and if you tell me I got to do it, I'll shock myself for the.
You're the Joey Pants in the Matrix of our Stanford Prison Experiment podcast. You're like, hey, I don't care as long as I can eat steak. At the end of the day, I just don't want to be in charge.
What happened to that guy? I really like him.
What, Cypher?
Oh no, just Pantoliano in general.
Yeah, he was just in the third Bad Boys film. So
what were we talking about?
We were talking about the Stanford Podcast Experiment.
Oh yeah. So how will we simulate that as we're all still in quarantine? Are we like will we have to deliver some supplies to the people who would be on the podcast?
Yeah, I guess we would have to, yeah. Maybe
because part of it is, to be a good prison guard, you got to crack some skulls, and as we can't actually crack any skulls directly, is there some sort of plan in place where we can remotely crack some skulls?
Yeah, I guess we could. Maybe we do it in Animal Crossing.
Okay, yeah.
So we get a bunch of people together on our little island, and then we put up a fence, and you and I will be best friends, so we can edit the fence, but then they don't let other people edit the fence.
Okay.
But then we have voice chat going, so everybody gets to be on the show, but some of us are the guards and some of us are not.
If will the guards get preferential, like if our island has good turnip prices or whatnot, the guards will be let in, but the prisoners will not.
Oh yeah, people could try and keister things in to our prison island. This is actually I don't know if this is a good podcast idea, but I kind of want to. I was thinking the other day, I think you could play hide and seek in Animal Crossing pretty easily if you just invited a bunch of people over to play hide and seek on your island, because you can't see where people are. It just says they're on your island, but like you can't like look at a map and see where they are. You could actually play a fun game of hide and seek. But maybe this would be better if we made it antagonistic and cruel.
I mean, that's where my mind usually. Yeah. I mean, I know that there aren't mechanics for it, for them to actually work, but I have been thinking that just as a display item for my house, it'd be cool if they started putting some guns in there.
Just have it. Yeah. You have a big, you have like a big bar built into the wall, and then there's one bottle. If you pick it up, then the wall spins around, and then it's just like a lit up rack of guns, all sorts of cool weapons.
I want the 60s Batman series. I want to bust that the head flips back on and a button to press, and then I can slide down a pole into my gun sanctuary.
You just have guns, like you can't put them in storage, so they're just all over the floor in the basement of your Animal Crossing house.
Yeah. I mean, I want to put them under a little glass dome, like they're that Rose from Beauty and the Beast.
If he doesn't get to shoot someone by his 18th birthday, then he'll stay a virgin forever.
Do we have any listener submissions, or?
Yes, we do. We have a listener submission this week from Lena. Lena writes, a true crime podcast, but since everyone's already covered all the serial killers and cults, etc., you just cover mundane crimes. Like tonight's episode, we will be discussing that one time Mrs. Henderson jaywalked.
Yeah, we could do that, and it's going to have that's going to be a sexy episode, because also as she was jaywalking, Will Smith ran her over with his car. So.
Just a boring true crime podcast, but then, hey, maybe there is there's. We try and find something interesting about a boring crime. And let me tell you, there's a lot of police blotters out there. I used to love to read my local police blotter as a kid. I think when I was probably like 13 or 14, I discovered that was more entertaining than the funny pages. Was the list of people who pushed each other down the stairs and then called the cops on each other.
And then the lists of things that were stolen and what they're valued at, which frequently is either inflated or deflated to humorous effects.
Somebody's like, I left a cooler in the bed of my truck overnight and it was stolen. The cooler was probably worth $1,000 and it had 3 Coors Lights in it.
And I want them back. Undrunk.
The police are hot on the case. They are protecting and serving.
Do you think that when they solve that crime, those 3 Coors Lights are going to have to be held in evidence lockup until it's all adjudicated?
Yeah.
Or do you think that poor guy can go ahead and drink his 3 beers?
I think that what's probably going to happen is they're going to say that those Coors Lights were never recovered, but then you're going to find out that a sheriff's deputy was caught selling Coors Lights.
Yeah, but it better be west of the Mason-Dixon line, right?
No, as I understand it, Coors Light they invented that because it was like, oh, well, this one's okay across the Mississippi. I
never understood that, and we're talking Smokey and the Bandit now. In watching that movie, having my dad try to explain to me that this is based on like a real thing, and why? And
why?
I don't remember what he said, but I remember it being like, I don't understand the logic of this at all. Was it? Why could you not sell Coors?
I don't rightly recall exactly what the reason was, but wow, it really proves like how much something can be desirable just because you're not allowed to have it, because it's still Coors beer.
Yeah.
It's Coors beer. But they're like, oh no, people in Georgia aren't allowed to drink Coors beer. That's just for people in Texas. And that made people in Georgia go crazy for Coors beer. They were like, we can't drink Budweiser. We need Coors now.
I mean, an idea is germinating here. Well, like, could we make our podcast inaccessible to those in Georgia?
Ooh. I wonder if there's a way we could do
both
that.
The state and the country. No Georgians.
Maybe we got to find if there's a weird old book, a law on the books in Georgia. Probably one of us would have to be black for it to become illegal.
Okay.
Just a guess based on how there's weird old laws in Georgia work. I gotta. Should we go to the Podtron?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Now the Podtron 4500, of course, is our actual artificial intelligence program that we have that takes the names of popular podcasts from the internet and then puts them all in a big bingo ball tumbler and generates new ideas based on the basic contents of actual podcasts that exist, in the hopes that it can synthesize a popular podcast from all of those moving parts. And all right, I'm looking at the list. It's printed out here. We got 100 and some podcast titles, and the first one that's jumping out at me is called Eater's Next Bigfoot, all. It's number 21 on the list.
Okay.
Eater's Next Bigfoot, all. And I guess that this would probably be, I mean, Eater, I think that's an actual food review podcast or website, a blog or something. Eater.
And it's something that we all are.
Yeah.
That's an inclusive term. We're all eaters.
Okay, so yes, I went to eater.com, and it is a blog. It is a food news website. And the top headline is Bakers Against Racism is just the beginning. So I guess they're probably going to move on to Butchers Against Racism and then Candlestick Makers Against Racism.
Well, the next Bigfoot, all.
Well,
when I think about a Bigfoot that you eat, I think about the giant Pizza Hut pizza from the 90s.
Yeah, the Reggie Fils-Aimé's brainchild, the Bigfoot pizza.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
Reggie Fils-Aimé of Nintendo of America also invented the Bigfoot pizza. That is not a lie.
Okay, I'm willing to bump up his title within my personal world to the architect of my childhood.
Yeah,
because I spent many a day playing my Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball and eating far too much of a Bigfoot pizza.
Yeah, I just to make sure I wasn't talking out of my ass, I Googled it, and it like right away. It says the Fils-Aimé took a job at Procter & Gamble. He took a position as senior director of national marketing at Pizza Hut, where he launched the Bigfoot pizza and the Big New Yorker.
I like that pizza too. God, got a big floppy slice. You fold it over. That's how you eat it. That's how people from New York talk, right? Did I New York talk okay?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know how Big Feet talk though.
I'm checking now to see. Got to filter my search results, and it doesn't look like there are any results if you say it must include Pizzone. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Reg. But this is all. This is Eater's Next Bigfoot. All. So I think what this is going to be is that we need to get into that Fils-Aimé mindset. We need to pair with Eater.com, which is a member of the Vox family of journalism. So we need to pitch a show to Vox where it's us trying to become the next Reggie Fils-Aimé by creating.
He got where he was by making pizzas bigger. We're going to get where we're going to get by making pizzas all.
All. Well, here's what all means to me. What does all mean to you? See, I'm doing a pitch right now. I'm a madman. What does all mean to you?
I'm in rapt attention, and I want to buy whatever it is you're selling already. I just continue.
When you were a child and your parents said, what are we gonna get for dinner? And you say, pizza. We want pizza. And you say, oh, I want the Bigfoot. Well, I want the Big New Yorker. Well, the little brother over here, he wants to 2 for 1 from Little Caesars Pizza. Maybe you wanted a Domino's. Did Domino's ever have a dumb thing?
I mean, I'm sure they've had several dumb things, but
They got the lava cakes or something.
Yeah.
But what if you made a cross-platform pizza? The Next Bigfoot. It doesn't matter where you go. It's there. It's always there for you. Like a warm blanket. Like Sweet Home Alabama at the beach on a boombox. Like the NBC must-see TV Thursday lineup. In any city, anywhere across the world, it's there. And that's what we're giving to people with our new pizza, the All Pizza. The All Pizza is available at Domino's, at Papa John's, at Little Caesars. Same ingredients, same great taste. Now available across multiple platforms.
I like this idea a lot. There are a lot of internet companies that are popping up that use the infrastructure that's already in place from fucking terrible AT&T, Comcast, what have you, that provide much better customer service. And I think that we could probably get people to, I think that All Pizza could probably take over several of these chains.
Yeah.
You know, like we're just going to use their ovens and their ingredients.
Yes.
To make a much better product.
It's a Fortnite pizza.
Yeah.
You can play it on your console, you can play it on your phone, you can play it on your computer. Same game, same players. Anywhere you go, it's everywhere you want to be. The All Pizza.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm FaZe Banks. Here to talk to you about All Pizza.
What percentage? Oh, go ahead.
You know, when I'm playing my esports, I need pizza to fuel my rage. And sometimes I got to just go wherever the action is. And that's why I eat All Pizza. I'm FaZe Banks. Or Shroud. I'm too old to know which one is which if I saw them in a lineup. So they're the same person in my mind. Take it from me.
I like the idea of selling pizza with the tagline, "It feed your rage," but I don't know if that's ideal.
It's the gamer pizza. It's got to feed your rage.
Do you think that pizza will end up being like Mountain Dew, where it gets flavor blasted? Six ways to Sunday. Are we going to have a? I mean, obviously, it will start out with Code Red, but
they'll have like a special. Yeah, they'll have a special Travis Scott All Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza, it tastes blue.
Yeah,
it's blue flavored pizza.
It's a blue pizza. Yeah, so that's Eater's Next Bigfoot. All.
I'm very hungry from that idea. I like that one.
This is the kind of wizardry that you can only get from us. So we can take something like that an amazing computer thought of, and we can magically
we'll take that computer down into the mud with us.
We just dragged it down. We're not alchemists. We're just bad influences. That idea came out of was birthed from the digital womb, cherubic and innocent.
It's not the worst thing I've ever done to the Podtron. I gave it its first cigarette.
I was going to say, it spent 15 minutes with us, and it showed back up wearing a leather jacket and smoking a cigarette.
And we asked the Podtron, "Hey, Podtron, what are you rebelling against?" And it printed out, "What do you got?"
It says, "All."
You ready for another one?
Yes.
This one is number 36 on the list. Down with argument.
Down with argument.
And I'd imagine this is just a podcast where we agree with each other.
Oh. Oh, so it would be like down with
Oh, you were thinking like, oh yeah, I'm down with argument, and so it would be an argument podcast.
Yeah, it would be like a watered down version of being down with the sickness.
Okay.
This is for people who don't want to get into the mosh pit. They want to sit outside of the Disturbed concert and just argue about stuff.
Man, that is a problematic title now. I'm probably not going to pick this one just because it could either support argument or not support it, and that's all it's about. And I don't think that it would be clear enough that people would know what they're getting themselves into.
I think that we could make it work, like the duality, the the ambiguous nature of calling it down with argument, where you could be like, holy hell, what was, sweet Christ, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
I got a really loud notification sound come through on my headphones there. Now I forgot what I was thinking.
Would you say that you are down with very loud notification noises, or are you saying down with
them?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Maybe it's down with argument in the sense that we are looking at arguments. People give us an argument, and then we have to say down with argument, but our solution has to be where we in turn argue that these are two sides of the same coin, that in reality this argument needs to end because, don't you see, you both actually agree.
So this is the Argument is a Flat Circle podcast?
Yeah. Is that what time is a flat circle means? It's like to me, that was always just some bullshit to sound deep.
I felt like it totally is.
I was like, what does that even mean? And people are like, oh man, he said time is a flat circle. Oh hell. And I was like, that I don't understand it. And I'm pretty good at understanding things usually. And then season 2 of that shit came out, and it was like, oh yeah, no, this is like Donnie Darko. It was something where people just pretended to understand because they were afraid they were the only one who didn't.
I don't think it has. I think it's one of those things that you can paint any sort of existential theorizing upon. It was a very vague symbol.
Yeah, it was just it's more tonal than a story. There is that hellacious scene in the first season where Matthew McConaughey goes on like a one long take shooting spree.
Yeah, that's
that Melvin
awesome
song plays. That was a good
that first season was really freaking good. I think it suffered a little bit from that biting off a little bit more than they could chew. The ending wasn't super satisfying, but yeah, I was a big fan of the first season.
So maybe we just do a podcast about the first season of True Detective, and
half of the episode is all arguing, and the other half is all agreeing.
All agreeing.
So that we can fulfill both sides, both ways that one could read the title.
We do a debate about whether the first season was objectively good or just like artistically interesting. And then the second half is just us agreeing that the second season was a piece of shit.
Yeah, that'll work. And I can get really frustrated again about how Taylor Kitsch never gets to be in anything good anymore.
Who's Taylor Kitsch?
He was Big Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights, and he was in the second season of but he was the star of John Carter, Battleship.
Oh yeah, he was John Carter.
And it was like they just kept giving him these big movie chances, but it was always like, oh, Battleship? I like this guy. I want him to be in things, but he keeps getting big starring roles. And
Taylor Kitsch. Oh yeah, I'm looking at a picture of him now. He's like the WB, like made a bad clone of Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
John Carter wasn't actually that bad. It failed, but I remember watching it and being like, this is pretty good. I like this.
John Carter. You talking about John Carter of Mars?
Yeah. I'm not talking about John Carter from Pluto.
John Carter of the Mars Carters.
You probably don't need to be that specific on Mars because, I mean, nobody fucking lives there. I know John Carter is a pretty generic, blank sort of name, but I mean, it probably has a lot more significant meaning on Mars than it does on Earth.
Yeah. Oh, that was down with argument.
Yeah. You got another Podtroner?
I got another Podtroner here. This one's called Threep.
Threep? Like the word
Threep.
three with a P at the end?
Yep. Like Veep. Right. Maybe that's what it is. It's Veep, but third in line.
Who is the next in line after the vice president?
Is it the Speaker of the House?
I don't rightly remember.
Wait, is the vice president the Speaker of the House? Or the chairman of the board?
I think he's the judge of the Senate.
Old Blue Eyes. Maybe that's what it is. We try and figure out who's third in line without looking it up.
Oh, I just looked it up.
Ah, shit.
I'm sorry. But yeah,
everybody.
You were right at first. It's the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is third in line.
Damn. Maybe instead of all that clapping, she should just kill the president and the vice president.
I would, I would.
She's doing that little sassy clap.
That decision.
Tearing up a paper. What if she just clapped one super hard Goku clap that sent like a shockwave that exploded Donald Trump, and then she got to be president?
I would be over the moon. I would welcome our new super powerful Queen of America, because let's just throw everything out the window, because the power level just, goodness gracious.
I gotta say, I don't agree with Nancy Pelosi on a lot of issues, but if she could clap super hard and blow people up like Goku, I'd probably come around on her, especially if we got to see her do it.
Yeah,
like if it was just like if I woke up and it was on Twitter, just people saying that Nancy Pelosi did it, like Nancy Pelosi claps back and explodes Donald Trump, I'd be like, oh, okay.
If it can happen at any time, the earliest opportunity is the best. But if it happened during the State of the Union address, that would be ideal for me. Like cinematically speaking, of course. I know Oliver Stone's going to end up making a movie about it, so I would like it to happen there and then.
Yeah, I think the best part is that as I'm picturing it, like I'm imagining Donald Trump getting blown away by the power of a super clap, and I know that his clothes would be ripped off before his like corporeal body disintegrated, so he'd be like fighting against that wind with his clothes tearing off, and that to me is so funny. It's worth it. I watched Air Force One the other day, and I got bored and started looking at my phone during the movie, and I was looking up trivia about the movie because I was like, they don't really have like an Apollo mission escape pod in the Air Force One, do they? And the answer is no, they don't. But they do in the movie. But they said that at the end of that movie, you know how he takes like a zip line from one plane to another to escape the plane because there's no parachutes left?
Yeah.
They said that they tried to do that as a practical stunt, but they ran a dummy out on the zip line first, and all the dummies' clothes blew off. And then I was picturing like the American president trying to escape from Air Force One on a zip line to like some, C-7 cargo plane. And just the president's clothes all flying off as he's escaping. And he arrives, and then it's like, oh, yeah, I guess this naked old man is our president. It would probably put a damper on the celebration of having just rescued him to see the president laid bare for everyone. An old man, a frail old man's naked body.
And Donald Trump is very much, he tries to make it seem as though he's very strong, a man's man, but I'm trying to picture presidents. He totally would be incapable of doing that, but I do think most of the presidents, I think both of the Bushes could have done it. I think Obama certainly could have done it. I even think Clinton maybe could have done it, but Donald Trump is as far as if the way we chose our president was which one of these people is going to win in a fight.
Presidential
I think
warrior.
Trump is not a particularly good president warrior.
Yeah, they just make them American gladiators for the president.
I think probably the only president of the past 5 or 6 presidents who I could not see doing a chin-up.
You've got the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court holding a Bible in one hand. He's up on top of a pyramid, and then he has a big gun that shoots tennis balls, and the president has to get to him and lay the hand on the Bible. All right, that was 3.
Okay, I've got another one. This one is number 50. Dear Podcast with Beck Podcast. And I think that we're going to have to start out with deciding which one of us gets to be Beck Podcast.
So it's just someone writing in to our.
I
it's
don't
like
know.
Dear Abby.
It's either people are writing Dear Podcast with Beck Podcast, or Dear Podcast with Beck Podcast is a podcast that's built around writing letters to other podcasts.
Oh, I guess it could be. Well, it makes more sense if the character's name is Beck Podcast, because the people are like, wait, shouldn't it be called Dear Beck? And you're like, oh, no, but my last name is Podcast. These are people writing to me. That's why it's called Dear Podcast with Beck Podcast.
Or maybe it's just so precious, like it's such a valuable podcast. You keep it close to you.
Listen, as far as search engine optimization goes, having podcast twice in the name of your podcast is probably a good idea.
I think
I can't imagine it would hurt.
I mean, I'm willing to change my last name to Podcast at this point. I think that will move things along a little faster than they're going. Maybe if my name's Podcast, then I'll definitely get a podcast, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's probably the problem you've had so far.
Yeah.
How many model rockets have you gotten?
I get no money from those model rockets, but I get a sense of satisfaction. Like I feel good. When I built one in middle school, there was a sense of pride. It felt like I owned it a little bit. I feel the same way about Estes Park, Colorado. I was conceived in Colorado, but I've never actually been there. Yeah, every time I see an Estes truck drive past me on the highway, I'm like, that's family. Yeah, absolutely, you can pass. I will not impede your progress, Father Truck. How do you feel about things that have your last name that you have no actual connection to whatsoever?
I mean, I guess when I watch The Lion King, the new one, and I hear Alfre Woodard, I'm like, hell yeah, that's me, a strong black woman.
Yeah.
I was in Primal Fear and 12 Years a Slave.
Nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Probably should have won, which is always good.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it, I'll say, because I'm not a Woodward, so I don't get to be in that All the President's Men. It's mostly just famous black people, and it makes me a little uncomfortable to think that there's probably a reason why we share a last name.
Yeah.
But I'm white. Oh.
That's true. Gonna air some ignorance here. I know that a lot of black people have the last name Freeman because they wanted to shed slave names. So how did Martin Freeman? Was it a last name that predates that movement, or just legitimate curiosity and
his family, they changed their last name to Freeman despite their free.
We are too. We're free too. I don't know.
It was Martin Freeman's ancestors were the originators of the all lives matter argument.
Oh God.
They just changed it. Yeah, well, you know what? We're Freeman too. It's not that special.
Oh no.
But someday we're gonna have a great grandson, and he's gonna be in a movie called Black Panther. What do you think about that, huh? Gonna play a CIA agent.
But yeah, just was always curious about that. Have absolutely loved Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman is
Very
actually
good.
Yeah. He was adopted by Morgan Freeman as a child.
Oh, that's why I like him so much. You know, now that you've enlightened me, I can tell. What a silly question to ask.
In all those interviews where they're like asking him about Shaun of the Dead or whatever. Wait, was he in Shaun of the Dead? I think I'm getting my British people confused. They all look alike to me.
I honestly can't remember. Like I've seen that movie at least 10 times.
I'm thinking of the other British guy. He's Bilbo Baggins. Anyway, this was all a very bad setup for a joke where he was just going to say in an interview, well, you know, I remember when I was a young boy, my father narrating the March of the Penguins. There you go.
That's one of the few movies I've ever. I fell asleep in the movie theater during March of the Penguins, and I also brought a bag of Jack Link's beef jerky and snuck it into the movie theater with me, and opened it and ate it, and didn't realize how distinct
fragrant
the smell of beef jerky. Like I made the whole theater smell like meat that you would want to eat during a nature documentary. and then fell asleep and probably snored. I was an ugly time in my life.
You just wake up. It's the last few minutes of the movie. You've passed out, and there's an old street dog has just wandered in, is eating the jerky from the open bag.
Hobo dogs.
Just the littlest hobo. All right. I think we did it. We did the whole show, didn't we?
Yeah, we did all of them.
God damn, we did the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh wait,
another
we have to
one
choose
in the books.
one.
Yeah, we got to pick one.
Hell. All right, so we got Hot Flakes. Who really won the rat race? If we build it, they will come. The Stanford Podcast Experiment. Boring True Crime Podcast. Eater's Next Bigfoot. All. Down with Argument. Threep. And Dear Podcast with Beck Podcast.
Part of me wants to choose the rat race one just because I know I'm going to watch rat race now, and I don't want that to be for naught.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
But is there any feasible way that we could do the Stanford?
I think there is, in the sense that
that's. I like that idea the best, but I think it's the hardest to do of every. Well, the Bigfoot one would be even harder to do than that. But
the one where we invent a pizza that's available at all pizza places.
Yeah, that one's impossible. So,
you say that, but if we had enough money, we could make it happen.
Yeah.
That's the American way.
I mean, that's a big dream. Maybe in year 5 of this, we could maybe have that kind of pizza clout. But I know that we don't have that kind of pizza clout right now.
We don't have that Reggie Fils-Aimé pull yet. We're not.
Fils-Aimé in French, does that mean I'm trying to remember what does that mean? I think that Fils is child and MA is like. So it's like Reggie likes kids.
It means
he's providing them with pizza and video games.
Fils means son. And Amé would be like loved. So basically it's like his name means favorite son.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I can see where,
he's Pizza Hut's favorite son. Yeah, I don't know. The Stanford Podcast Experiment, I suppose we could. And I mean, it would be a lot of soundboard and muting people. We just have a bunch of guests on and we abuse them.
I sincerely love the idea of that. I don't think we can do it. I don't think it would be.
We could get a big chat going. We can get all these people in the chat and record it. You want to just abuse some people?
Yeah. Do you remember the card game Mao?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be kind of like that, where we just invent arbitrary rules that people have to follow? And I mean, I could freak on some control,
What about this? What if we told everyone that they were going to be a guest and we were going to discuss rat race?
Uh-huh.
And then when they all get here,
and we spring it on them.
Then we spring it on them.
Rat race mousetrap.
Yeah. Then we're just rude. We get like 4 guests and then we're just rude. They all think they're the only guest and then they show up and then we're just rude to them. And I'm realizing this would be a terrible idea.
It's a lot of work. It could be really good, but
they would just leave unless we said, we'll pay you $100. I don't want to pay.
Well, that's we're doing this at the wrong time because everybody's going to have to be in their own homes on their computer, and I mean it's very easy to click an X in the corner of a window and just to do this experiment, you need to actually have people bodily there.
Yeah, we have to have them. We gotta lock these guests up in a cage and spray them with a hose.
And I don't think a lot of people who've been on podcasts are used to signing away their rights. We would actually need to have some legal documentation before we did this too. So, I don't think that.
Yeah, I guess we're doing the rat race one.
Okay. That's cool.
All right. Well, folks, if you want to hear who really won the rat race, you can go over to patreon.com/we don't have a podcast yet. We'll be trying out our new podcast, Who Really Won the Rat Race. This is where we discuss which characters from the Rat Race movie, Rat Race, the famous movie about rat races, Rat Race.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out scientifically who was the real winner. I mean, they all ended up, listen, they all ended up not winning the money, but there's a deeper level to it. We can still figure out who was the winner, and we're going to try and do that. If you want to hear that, you can go to patreon.com. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get access to that this Friday, along with, oh boy, there's like 30 some odd episodes of podcasts that we've tried. If you're a subscriber, you can listen to all of them. You can go back and binge them. You can also take any of those ideas and make your own podcast, as long as you attribute it to us. That's all we ask, because those are good ideas, but they aren't good enough to be our podcast. So who knows? Maybe this one about Rat Race will be the one that we choose.
I think I feel really good about this one. I think that's a very rich text, and I look forward to delving into it for many episodes. I think that's a 100 episoder.
Listen, it's a big cast.
There's so much going on in this film that I can't wait.
And as always, you can drop us a line at we don't have a podcast yet at gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. We don't tweet, but we got a Twitter. I think we got a TikTok too. We don't do that. There's a Facebook. That's usually where we ask for submissions for podcast ideas, but we'll take them anywhere. Listen, if you're in a band and we used your name as the name of an episode, I don't know who that would be. It looks like we recently had an episode that was just titled Star Wars. Maybe if you're the creator of Star Wars, George Lucas, give us a little shout. Tell us that you like to say. Imagine my surprise when I was looking for my film Star Wars, and the first thing that came up was your dumb show, where you tried to create.
Then I found out you made you completely missed the point of my favorite band, the Jesus Posse, and these clowns. What are they going to do to my baby? My clown baby.
We made a clown baby. I think that's it, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We promise we're gonna come up with an idea for a podcast soon. We've been at this for like 8 months now.
More than that, I think we're coming up on a year in August.
I think, yeah, it's getting close, because I know that I listened to the Jesus Christ Posse episode today.
I had no memory of it. I'm going to go back and listen to it.
We were talking about how October was coming up. So I think we started in September. Although, you know what? In that episode, we made a joke about how we hadn't released any episodes. So I think that didn't we start recording
we recorded for a month before we started releasing any.
Boy,
to build up a little bit of a backlog to give us some space that we no longer have anymore.
We really planned out not having a plan, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were correct in nothing has stuck. Our podcast seeds can find no purchase.
This is some fallow ground, folks.
We have been shooting blanks for nearly a year. Great.
Yeah. All right, folks. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else that needs to be said.
I can't either.
On behalf of myself and AJ, good night, and we'll see you later. Kisses. All right.